Good late morning. It's a late morning. Welcome to Appalachia's Homestead. Come here, you. I've got stronger arms. I'm gonna squeeze ya. Oh, come on. How you doing today? Thursday. Weekend is coming. Beautiful weather. It was beanie weather. Beanie weather has started. The beanie weenie weather has started here in East Tennessee. Now, if you're a little bit further north than I am, it may have started a little bit sooner, but this is when you live in I live in a beanie. Okay, I live in baseball caps and beanies about 75-80% of the time during the year, but between now and March, I am in a beanie all the time, and it's because, look here, neener. I mean, I'm letting you know right now if the satellites from Starlink are working. Hey, they're my ears. I can say what I want. But listen, hope you're doing well this morning. I'm sure like me and like you are running around. You want to get things really nice and cleaned up and squared. Isn't it nice to get things cleaned up? I know I said this the other day, but isn't it nice to get things kind of cleaned up and squared away before the holidays hit? I mean, even if you don't decorate or do a whole lot, it's just like you go, because it gets darker sooner. I mean, let's be honest, by 7, when it gets like this, and especially when the time changes and we're looking at darkness by like 5:30, I'm pushing hard to about 7, and then I'm like, I'm done. Whatever. I mean, whatever. Right? You want everything done. Even if you have just one thing to do, you just want everything else behind you. So I'm coming up here. I'm about to knock down some more cobwebs in my barn. My flycatchers in my barn. That's what they are. They get all the dust and the debris and all the nasty flies, and we're getting that is the good thing about, I mean, let's be honest, there is a few good perks in cold weather. You don't have to mow, not as much or anything weird, and it gives you a little bit of an excuse to get your work done and kind of decompress a little bit, although you better get your steps in. I need to find it. Let me tell you what I'm planning on doing. I have a Fitbit. It's not really a Fitbit, but a little watch thingamabobber, jingy thing that you can wear, and I bought it a couple of years ago. I'm trying to find it. It was a cheaper one. I got it off Amazon, and it worked great, and I saw it not too long ago. And I want to do a day of my daily chores. The average, nothing crazy, the average daily, me getting up, moving around, what I do, chickens, the dogs, the barn, the chickens, the dogs again, the average, couple loads of laundry, what I do in a day, and see how many steps that is. Now, I'm not going to add in like walking or, an odd day of, the month or the year where you do something extraordinary. I want to see how much walking I'm actually doing. And so when I find that and get it charged or something, we'll make a video about that. Because some of you ask a lot of questions about that. And people like to debate that issue of, are you getting enough exercise? Well, I contend, I don't think we are. I mean, but that's a past video, and we can make another one. We can duke it out, baby. I'm saying push your body as much as you physically can, how you can, when you can. Don't be sedentary, right? Work, move, go. But listen, I know that everybody's talking about this, so I'm going to bring this up. And it has a lot to do with everything that's going on with the government shutdown, and how all of that is bleeding over onto you. And of course, I always tell you, do not ignore what's going on. Understand it, but then you have to go, I see it, I observe it, I understand, and then you don't absorb that stress. It's very hard, okay? This is an addiction break for you. Because the only way you're going to deal with it is to break the addiction of it. Does that make sense? It's just like anything else. Doom and fear is an addiction. And that's what the devil wants you. He wants you addicted to everything. He wants you addicted to sugar. He wants you addicted to fear. He wants you addicted to lust. He wants you addicted to all the things that totally inflame your body, ruin your health, ruin your spiritual world, ruin your relationship with God. Ultimately, that's the main thing. Ruin, and then take you down through relationships with family, friends, and community. The only way you take that control back and stomp on the devil, stand on his head like Michael, is literally you go, So you have to know what's going on, but that doesn't mean you live in that moment to moment. So you can see my content it's not changed, but I am focusing different. And I hope that sticks, because I know what you're trying to do and what we're doing is working to make us healthier, better people for God. And we are dealing with things better. You're not escaping what's going on. But I do have some points that I want to make about this. And I'm going to talk to you like I would talk to my own sons. So I don't mean any condescension, but I have 3 grown sons. So I'm always mama. I mean, I'm like everybody's mama. Let me tell you, I went to the gym the other day, okay? I'm at the gym. We're going to the gym 5 days a week. We're trying to. Let me tell you this story real quick. So every time we're done, I go back and, honey, you freshen up, use the restroom. I wash, sanitize everything. I carry my own little sanitizer bags. I do. I don't rely on what they've got. I've got my own little memo looking bag. Let me wipe that down for you. Yeah, I am. I'm everybody's memo. But I went back there and there's these 2 girls and they were talking. They were probably 20, 21 years old. Remember, that was cute, wasn't it? I know. And this girl was complaining about how this boy's treating her. And, I was sitting there and I brushed my hair and I freshened up my stinkerama and I was washing my hands and putting my hat back on. And I just walked over to her. I said, can I interrupt you for just a moment, hon? And she said, they looked at me and I said, can I mama you? Because I know I'm old enough to be your mama. She said, please do. And I told her, I said, you don't have to chase nobody. I said, I've been hearing your story. Not that I was trying to be nosy, but there's no one else in here. And I can't help but hear you. I said, love is not difficult. Okay, true love. There may be trials and tribulations in a long-term relationship. Okay, I said, but you don't need to work this hard for a boy. Okay? And she was like, I said, let that go and make peace with it. And when you do that and you start taking care of you and focusing on you and your mental health and you as a pretty young lady and you're doing all the right things and you're putting that out there and you're not selfishly, but the right way, I said, you're going to attract the right boy. I said, stop chasing this. And she was like, and that's when she said, thanks, Mom. I said, well, we've all been there. And let me tell you, I'm telling you the truth. So let me tell you the truth right here. I don't care how old you are. Stop doom scrolling as best you can. Figure out what you need to every day and get off of it, okay? So we see this hullabaloo with the world's going to erupt. We're going to have massive riots at Walmart, and your hair is going to fall out and your pants are going to fall down because food stamps and all this is going to run out. Okay, first of all, let's take it down to the bottom line here. Can you control that right now? No. So whether you receive these benefits or not, whether it's being blown out of proportion or not, whether it happens or not, don't tell me, tell yourself, do I have any control over this? And if I am involved in this, what can I control? So you've got to take responsibility for that, okay? I think and pray, let me put it to you this way, I pray it's all going to just smooth out at some point. And I think you need to realize that if this were to happen, because I do think things are going to happen at some point, whether it's in November, now we fear November, or is it going to happen in 2030 or in 2035? Do I think a crisis could come? Yeah, at any pending point in time, yeah. I don't think the next crisis that we're going to see is going to have anything to do with a health scare as far as like what we saw with COVID. They wouldn't let you be seeing ivermectin ads on YouTube if that were the case. Have you seen all that? Isn't that funny? Anyway, so we can actually say that word now. Moving on. The point that I'm making here is does it involve you right now, and can you change it? Well, if it happens, it will involve all of us, but to what point? If you have done everything you can possibly do within your power, whether it started yesterday, 5 years ago, or 20 years ago, to be as prepared as possible, you are as prepared as possible, and you know to stay away from that junk. So here's what I'm saying. If you know, and we inch upon something massive happening, stay away from the furnace, okay? Here's the thing. Everybody I've watched over since, unfortunately since September the 10th, there's been lots of different things. There's been conferences. There's been rallies and get-togethers and all of these things we saw, we viewed, we watched, a lot of us participated in, whatever, in terms of celebrating or remembering Charlie Kirk. I'm going somewhere with this. And what absolutely yanked your butt hairs the most? Seeing someone who didn't like him, hates your guts, hates Jesus, wants to come and just cause confusion, showing up just to be there to cause confusion. Why are they here? Why would you do this? This. So I'm going to flip the switch on you. And some of you are not going to like this, but I'm going to be your mama. Stay away from all this hot crap mess. Okay? When these people who you do not identify with, who you have nothing in common with, that you say you pray for, that you know are spiritually challenged, that are causing problems, or that are going to riot, or who are going to protest, or who are going to do all these things, why in your right mind would you ever want to go and stand right in the middle of it? I mean, is it just for content? It's all over the place. And I can't help but sit there and go, this is kind of being a little bit hypocritical. You are showing up, not just to view. Maybe some of you got curious. But there are people that went just to put their finger right up the rectum of the bear. Why? Shouldn't you and shouldn't we have more important things to do that really, truly, fundamentally matter? Now, do I think this video is going to change any of this? No, I don't. But if one person listens to me today, maybe I made a difference. You should be so doggone busy if you're really concerned about these things, instead of rushing out to get in a brawl today or get somewhere where something could erupt. Why aren't you doing push-ups on the driveway? They're free. Why aren't you canning ground beef? Why aren't you prepping your closet? Why aren't you going to Walmart and getting extra foods or wherever and getting extra things to put on your shelf? If you think they're going to deplete the shelves and you can't go shopping because they're all going to riot and go in and steal the foods. And believe me, I've seen things that are coming from TikTok and are mysteriously showing up on my Instagram. And a lot of them they were all women. They're all mad and they're all this. Yeah, it's a massive problem. We have too many people on food stamps. Okay? Doesn't mean that there aren't people that need help. I am not saying there aren't. I know there are. That's not what I'm saying. And I'm not saying that there aren't people that need a handout and a leg up. And need more. That whole system is totally corrupt. Okay? People, for real, it's the most thumb pressing thing on the planet. Doesn't mean you don't help. But there's corruption in all of that, and that's a whole other 7-hour podcast we could debate. But what can you do about it today? If you feel a need to help somebody that you personally know is struggling or could be struggling, then that's where we need to step up. Maybe it would be better, instead of us going up and saying, oh, I'm going to grease this finger and stick it right here in this bear. Oh, isn't this funny? I'm going to film it. I'm going to go to deliver some things to a food pantry. I'm going to go to my community church and see if there are families that are truly vetted and need help. I'm going to go to after I do that, I'm going to go make sure, I'm going to go through my pantry. So if something does erupt, I'm going to make sure I'm good. I've purged my pantry. Like me, I've purged some things. I need to go through and take some inventory of a few things probably right now. I already know that. Working on it. My point here is, don't get sucked into the stressors. Be proactive with doing something. Don't be a hypocrite complaining about those people, and then the next event, you are one of those people. We have to be better, bolder, wiser, taller, stronger, fitter, healthier, mentally stable, emotionally stable, spiritually grounded. We know what the problems are in the big cities. Don't go. Are there problems in small towns? Yeah. Look at Knoxville. Knoxville used to not really be considered big. It's bigger. It's overran now. That's my hometown. And, you know, there are days it's very sad to go there. It is. It's very sad. Very sad. Again, Tennessee is losing 200 acres a day of farmland. People are flocking here. But my point is, everything is changing. Step back, reassess. What should you be doing today? Why would you go and do something if you wouldn't? I mean, somebody, to me, a parent in their right mind would never encourage that for their children. Stay out of stuff. Don't cause no beef, won't be no beef. Mind your business. Here's that business, here's your business. You stay over here and you mind yours. Because see, when you're minding yours, you're healthier, you're smarter, you're working, you're making sure you can eat, you're making sure your children can eat, you're working so maybe you can be more debt-free because, you know, jobs are going away. Shouldn't you be more concerned about jobs? Jobs are going away. AI. Yeah, don't be worrying about what Billy Bob, Mark, Sandra, Susan, Linda, and Wilbur are doing over here, yelling and screaming and fussing and fighting or tearing down the Walmart. Be aware of it, but you got stuff to do. We got stuff to do, people. We got stuff to do. And managing your time, honestly, this is the big thing for me, and I'm shutting up. The biggest factor in all that I'm doing right now, all the people that I see that are winning. The people, I know you don't think people are winning anymore. There's a good handful of people that are winning. You know what they're doing? They said, I know what's happening. I'm going to step back from it. I'm going to take care of my business. I'm getting up every day at this time. I like to sleep late, but I like to sleep till 8 o'clock. But I'm getting up at 5:50 every day, regardless of what's going on. I'm getting up. I'm going to do my thing all day long. I'm going. TV's not on. This is not. I'm going to put on my music if I want to. I'm going to work. I'm feeding my kids. I'm going to plan my go. No, TV's not on. It's just a bunch of junk anyway. They're lying to us half the time. I'm going to go take care of my animals. I'm going to go take care of my husband. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Oh my gosh, it's already dark. It's getting close to bedtime. Okay, I want to go to sleep in 2 hours. Well, in 1 hour, I better my screen time's done, hon. I'm gonna make sure I'm taking care of as much as I can. And oh, look, there's a few things here didn't get done today. Did I go, honey? We didn't go to the gym today. We're going tomorrow. Get up. Get up. Okay, and we're going. And turn off that stuff and get you some good sleep. Start again. If they tear down the Walmart today, why do you want to be there? Whether it's to be in the mix, whether it is to film it, do you think that's going to be a peaceful thing? Do you think these people aren't going to come with things in order to do what they want to do if that were to ever happen? No, that's probably going to be one of the most dangerous places you could ever be. You'd have to be dumber than a doornail to show up. Stay out of the minutia. All right, that's my rant for the day. I hope it helped you out. Helps me. Because I finally have gotten to the point where I go, God, I don't know what the full plan is here, but I know what I need to do. And Lord, I'm going to keep working at it, and I'm going to keep talking to you about it, and I'm going to be in my lane. And because here's the deal. There's going to be a time where you're going to be forced to show up, and it may just be on your property. Why would you waste your time and energy and strength and health and dignity to waste it before then? Enough said. Like, subscribe, and share. Pray, prep, and be peaceful. I'm going to come out of this barn looking like trench warfare here in a few minutes. Just stepped right on out of it because it's going to be a hot mess. But that's what I have to do today. I'm praying that things come to a reasonable end. I hope that a solution is found. I always pray for God to intervene. You know what? God's going to intervene. Never doubt him. I love you. I love you so much. Hugs, and I'll see you on the next video.